what do you like? What advice do you have to writers who are looking to get published? A lot don't even know where to look whatsoever. So, yeah, what do you say to like the newbie, the novice?
It's funny because I'm going to repeat a piece of advice that was said to me in the very beginning that I resonate with immensely. Now, it's if you're starting out, you either think you're like the bee's knees, the next whoever, or you come at it from a modest, very humble perspective. I've always come at it from a humble perspective because, proficiency aside, I think that there's so much I have yet to learn, and I don't know more than what I know, if that makes any sense. I think a lot of submissions that we get are from people who, have been published in a couple of magazines here and there, and as a result of that have become a little bit complacent. And it's funny because starting out, I would ask agents and magazine editors, like, what is the number one thing you would suggest for me to learn, right? So exactly the same question you asked. And they said, Tevis, follow the submission guidelines.
Right.
And because they said, if you follow the submission guidelines, you're already in the top 20% of the submissions. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And I see now with a magazine of my own that following the submission guidelines shows a lot, right? Because first of all, it makes our life easier when we're selecting the piece and, reading it and curating. Like, we get pieces that don't have paragraph breaks. We get pieces that don't have titles. We get pieces that look completely different. And I'm not even talking about like what the email header says. I'm talking about the actual piece itself not being edited, having typos in the first sentence. You have to, writing aside, right? And this is just a professionalism aspect. Always maintain that level of professionalism, because if we're going to be publishing you, Mackenzie, we're going to be publishing your piece, but we're actually, promoting you. We want to have you be someone that we want to be associated with, that we want to promote, that we want our name associated with. And if you automatically can't follow the submission guidelines, or you have a typo in the first sentence, it just shows us that you're not really serious about pursuing that or about being in the magazine regardless. And ask any magazine editor out there, they'll echo these words, and I can confirm that you will be in the top 20% if you just do follow the guidelines. And it's strange because I have, bets with some of the other editors and readers in the magazine. And the bets are essentially, when we're looking through our email thread, it's always the people who follow the submission guidelines that have the absolute best pieces, because they're taking their craft way more seriously, and they're taking their craft from like as a professional, as opposed to I'll spray and pray all the magazines out there and whoever accepts. I always thought it was a little pretentious of magazines before to say, read one of our issues before you submit to us, because the style could be different. But I echo with that so much more now, because there are stuff that your piece might be fantastic, it's just not for our magazine, and we might love the prose and love the story and love everything about it, but we just don't publish that type of material. So it's more of a point on professionalism than anything else. Follow the submission guidelines, pay close attention, because it speaks to you as a writer more than your piece, but it takes it to a whole other level.